How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. The whole crew is here. It's our 50th episode and recording. You can also see Brad's face, aka Cup Dog. It's absolutely terrifying. If you like the content, like, share, and subscribe. We are always looking forward to seeing new commenters. We found another Josh in the World of Warcraft episode.
And I actually know him.
Awesome. And he actually knows.
I actually know him.
So, for this episode, we are going to let Brad drive, which
this is scary.
Is equal parts terrifying.
I'm a little
and
scared.
Good, funny, because this should be interesting. So, kick it off, Brad. What do you got for me, bud?
All right. So first off, obviously, I have to acknowledge that this is the 50th episode. Right? We started this 8 months ago, give or take, a day or two.
Damn, has it been that long?
We started in July, the end of July, I think.
Well, I looked on Spotify. It was June. The first episode was in June. So, the first 10 episodes, I would say, were more of an experiment. We fine-tuned and tweaked things. I felt like we got it to where we wanted to start off with after that. The first episode was an absolute nightmare. We recorded like 20 minutes of the like 2.5 hours that we
2.5 hours.
I think I heard you guys. I remember talking about that.
I'm so fucking pissed, man. I think, what did we do, Brad? We put a thing at the end, like a 5-minute thing. We're like, hey, yeah, we're sorry. We're gonna we're just gonna
Disclaimer,
tweak it.
I don't know what we just did, but
we're gonna tweak it and keep it moving afterwards, and that's what we did.
We just ignored it that it even
That's
happened.
The best thing you can do.
When did we add music? It was like 7, right?
Yeah, 7 or 8, and then
that's when we had Jack on.
Well, you started. No, I started on episode 5.
Yeah,
you guys started. When you started, you had music playing in the background.
Right.
And then you changed it to where it was just the intro and outro.
Yeah.
That was I think that was after episode 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
When we started doing that. But then one of our favorite guests, we brought him back on as a permanent thing, and then we added Chibi, so we've doubled the team. We've also
was it Chris? Was Chris? He's not here, bro. I don't know.
Well, so Jack. I was referring to Jack.
Oh wow,
Jack, it's okay. I knew it was you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So we've doubled the team, since the beginning. We've also doubled the amount of shows. We went from 1 to 2, with Down the Rabbit Hole. Also with the Pixelated Thoughts. And now we're in season 2 with video, which is a huge upgrade. So this
Hey, dope. I didn't even know you could do that, like on Spotify.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I literally was like, wait, there's video.
It was an option on Anchor when you upload into Spotify. It was actually pretty interesting. I was very shocked. I was like, does it work? Sometimes you'll get a message if you wait. It takes like 25 minutes to upload anything. But I was like, oh shit, is it not uploading the video? I've just been sitting here looking at a screen.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I just want to shout that out. I want to see where y'all want to go from here. I mean, obviously, this is something that could be talked about offline, but why not give a preview into ideas for the future? Does anyone have any ideas? I would say most of these episodes are pretty ad lib or improv. So,
hold on. Well, first off, anytime Jack does one, I think it's pretty structured. Jack usually has a list of stuff. That Warcraft episode, Jack had things to ask the entire time, and you and me just kind of dicked around.
What I wouldn't mind doing.
By the way, we had a comment that was negative, but they deleted it because the guy didn't know that Jack and that dude were friends, and he was calling us an asshole the entire time.
Oh my god!
He's like, you guys are so mean to this person. I also play Warcraft. I was like, we know him. If you watch the episode, which you did because he went into detail. And I was like, if you watched it, you'll notice that Jack and this dude have known each other for 20 years, man. So I have no clue where you're getting that from.
He completely missed that whole shebang.
Missed the whole boat.
Yeah. Now, if it were somebody new and random, we wouldn't act like that, unless we felt like the person's personality blended with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can just feel like you can mess around with them.
I don't think Brad would fuck around if we got a developer on.
No. I mean, so I would definitely test the waters, but there would be a break-in period, right?
The first question coming out the door is gonna be, "Why'd you assholes take my money?"
Yeah. why is your game so bad? Like, can you answer that?
Why is this garbage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
I think something that'd be cool to implement at some point is something a little bit more interactive. Like as we're talking about things, we throw it up, and the viewers can see what we're talking about when we're referencing material off of web pages or clips that somebody has.
Oh, you mean when the video gets edited?
Yeah.
Aren't you our editor on video?
I know.
Isn't that you, motherfucker?
I know how to do it. I just need the content. I just need the content.
He needs the links, bro. He's not gonna do all the work.
I need the material.
When we talked about going into video, I remember Jack was like, I have what was it? What was the what were you using? DaVinci, right? And he was like, yeah, I can edit the video, and then I can like throw. I was like, oh, cool. Maybe Jack will do something cool and throw some things in there. And like what we've been doing, he's just like, all right, cool. The video looks good. And just send it over to Brad.
To be fair, man, it's an hour and a half video to go through. I understand how editing takes so long.
100%. I mean, that's essentially when I clip, like what I've been doing is like I'll just clip it. I use Filmento now, Jack. That shit is
Filmora.
Filmora. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Hit me up because I definitely want to know what that is.
So Wondershare.
It's Wondershare. It's a video editing tool. It's super intuitive, very simple. Like DaVinci is like
DaVinci's for like people who are really into video editing because you can do a lot of shit like visually with DaVinci that you can't do with Filmora. Filmora is like prepackaged things. Whereas DaVinci, you can go into like specific details on how lighting comes across.
Oh my god, I was so overwhelmed. I was like, bro, I'm just trying to zoom in, zoom out. Like, I was so overwhelmed.
But I feel like Adobe was. How do I slap an overlay right here?
The first thing I used DaVinci with was actually, it turned out to be really cool. Is when I had my Chip character in RP. So my news guy, I did like a news focused thing where I had like an at the top right hand corner was a video of what I was talking about, and then I had to zoom in to the actual clip and stuff like that and back out. So you can do a lot with DaVinci, but the simple things I was trying to do is stuff that could easily be done by Wondershare Filmora.
Right. Brad, Cup Dog does not exist yet. Somehow you are still fucking distracting. This man makes all these faces the entire time. Jack is trying to talk. What the fuck?
Cup Dog IRL, bro.
He really is that person.
Right?
He is the class. Look at me, Dad. Are you proud?
Me.
Are you proud what your son has become?
But yeah, that's what I would like to see. Us try to get into at some point, and I think we can.
Yeah, I think I want to get more of like your streamer buddies on too. I think we have Mom on the list. I want to bring Sneaky back, but I think she's afraid.
No, it's okay. If I'm here, Sneaky.
She liked it.
Yeah, she liked it.
No, she liked it last time, but she was like, you could tell that she was like hesitant when she was trying to talk. Like you didn't know when to jump in.
It's nerve-wracking.
Fucking
Brad. Oh yeah, because what happens is you get scared of the fact that you don't know if you're going to be able to contribute to a conversation, and that's irritating. That can scare you away from going into something that relies on conversation, right?
I contribute anyways.
So and she contributed very well. Like
I love Sneaky. She's awesome.
Leave it to Brad.
Yeah, because we can have Sneaky in like in little VTuber, and then have Cup Dog and her. Right.
We should all VTube that day.
We could do that.
Oh, I think I have one.
I would VTube that day.
I would VTube that day.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. We should do that. That'd be cute.
I want to at least try to get.
I should be the
April
only one
Fool's Day.
And
I do want to talk to like get like an indie developer on eventually if we can't find one who's want to come on.
And some ideas.
Like Jack Move was supposed to show up.
I have a friend who likes indie games.
Yeah.
Me and Brad love indie games. You
guys would like him. He has his own podcast as well, but
does he?
I wouldn't even say he's a podcast, but he does a lot of interviews like on stream and stuff.
Yeah, it's called.
So you guys would probably like him. Never mind. Please don't invite him on. I'm scared.
If your friend wants to come on, let him know. We'll more than likely bring him on.
I'd
talk about indie games.
I wouldn't mind starting to do shorts too. Some of my own like little reviews.
Yeah, I agree.
Or like meet the streamer.
One of these days.
Meet the
one of these days.
One of these. Yeah, I have to have the time.
So
I feel you, Jack.
That won't be me. So they'll hear somebody else's voice for the love of fucking God. Please. Please. I've been waiting like out of nowhere. I just want to see Jack like do like an interview. I'm like, yes, he did it. Thank you. I believe Chibi would eventually.
Do what?
Some short. I don't know.
Needs something catchy though, like
I mean, shit. If you talk
like
about
Galifianakis has Beyond Two Ferns.
like I can definitely put on my radio talk show voice and do some voiceovers for us if we need. You just gotta tell me what to say and I'll do it. I got us.
Well, Brad, what do you want us to do?
Fuck you, Ken.
I hope. Chill, Jesus.
Make good content.
Are you going to contribute to that?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
I want it, but I'm not going to deliver it.
But it's okay to have ideas, though. You got some ideas?
I'm here to bring it down to a respectable level, right?
Oh,
I can't let us just, start at the top. I gotta.
You gotta bring down the team.
Yeah. No,
I hate this.
Yeah, I would definitely like some interactive something, whether it be a live stream or a community night thing, or whatever it actually may be. We have talked about the Discord that I've set up for us to have the actual video in. I've talked about turning that Discord into the actual Pixelated Thoughts podcast. Yeah, I said the name right. Like actual Discord, like actually branding it that way, because it's just been my personal Discord for the last several years that no one ever uses. So, maybe that
gaming there all the time, bro. What are you talking?
We do.
You mean,
dude? Me, you, and Chris. My bad. Yeah. Me, you, and Chris. It was supposed to be my Twitch channel Discord, and then I blew it up and started over. So there's only like 20 people in it now. So. But yeah, so I would definitely like some community interaction, or whether it be like a party game night or whatever. I don't know, or if it's just a Q&A type thing. I don't know.
Yeah. But to the viewers, we're gonna eventually have our own Twitter, so you guys can.
If Twitter survives in the next couple,
it may or may not. Whatever it is, it's gonna be a social media platform. Outside of TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, I will contribute to the blue check mark.
We should do an Instagram too.
We have. Yeah. Do we have one?
Oh.
And Facebook.
You could easily put on shorts and then pictures. We could do like IRL pictures, like streaming pictures. Like, I feel like Instagram has always been consistent with getting like stuff out there.
Yeah,
so that's a food for thought one.
Okay.
I would say my little tidbit would be I'm still waiting on my Persona episode. And
oh yeah.
I'm still waiting on my Persona episode. Like Cup Dog is waiting on his Final Fantasy one.
We had one.
He's like, I want to do more.
It was very easy. Yeah. It was very early.
And then I think with stemming off of like community and stuff, I think maybe every now and then having like almost like a poll, or like, what would you guys like us to talk about next episode? I don't know if you guys do that like in the Spotify or the YouTube.
I think,
but like having something explicitly say like, here, maybe like vote on it. Here are 2 options. Which ones do you guys want to see?
Yeah, I think Jack. I remember that one time we were looking for like ideas, and we went to your Discord, and they had like, it was I think 15 came up from that, right? And I like copy and pasted it. Yeah, so we had some. So if you have any, like, if you want to do that too, Chibi. Like,
no, I just mean like in general too. Like, in our like video at the end, be like, these are our 2 topics. Like, make sure you guys vote on it, like in the comments. You know what I mean? That I think is an interactive thing that you can do, but also in our Discords, just to highlight it. But I think that would be pretty cool.
Good idea.
Thank you. I tried.
But you have to donate to our Patreon first before you can.
No, please. We don't have
a Cup Dog.
We don't have a Patreon.
We do not have a Patreon. We make no money from this whatsoever.
It's out of goodness of our hearts.
Oh, okay. So I guess that covers that.
Very nice, wholesome question.
Yeah.
Why did it sound like that?
Yeah. I'm tired of talking about it now. The topic's getting old.
He's not ready to move on, bro.
I can't, man. How the fuck have we gotten this far?
Somehow we did.
Man.
I'm here for the chaos.
And we started it. Me and you, the OGs. I don't know why you talked me into doing this, or like why you talked me into doing this. Yeah, okay. So the first actual topic that I had planned today, or tonight, Hogwarts Legacy. I know there's a lot of controversy around the game. I really don't want to get into that. Everyone's talked about it.
Yeah, it's dead.
But made their opinion. However, I do want to talk about Avalanche Games and the phenomenal game that they've made. I mean, it's objectively the piece of art that it is. It might be a gold standard for world building or
licensed games.
Yeah. So
yeah,
the next, the next, Lord of the Rings, right? I would really hate to see if it's not that good. Good as it's like I don't know. I almost feel bad for the next few games if they haven't been working to that kind of level of detail and just immersiveness that Hogwarts Legacy really put up front. I do feel like there's a little bit of open world fatigue. There was just collectibles literally every 10 feet, and this is a me problem. The game's a little too open world, right? When I unlocked the talent tree, I had already unlocked the highest tier of talents. I was
what
level
level
20,
were you?
I was level 22 when I unlocked the ability to unlock talents, and
the fuck?
The top tier of the talent tree unlocks at level 22.
I had gotten to a point. I had gotten to a point in the story where I was actually ahead of Brad. I was lower leveled. I'm like level 15 or something. But I was like, "Yeah, did you get to this part?" He's like, "No." I was like, "What?"
So I think where they messed up, not messed up, but I think somewhere they can improve on, or any game is, or any developer when it comes to a game like that, is you have to put some kind of mechanism in place where it controls that a little bit more. So then you're not scouring the world, ranking up as high as you can, and then getting into the story.
No, that's true, because like I think I was playing yesterday and I got to like level like 24, right? And I was just doing a story quest where it was like required level 11, and I was like, I completely fucking missed that.
Yeah. Like, I was just
I was just so focused on it. No,
there are some games that will scale story level with your level as well.
Yeah.
I just don't think they thought about that.
Yeah, I mean they do it with some areas like Merlin's trials. You have to have certain spells to be able to do some of the trials. But I don't think that was enough to.
Those are really well done, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I actually enjoy those.
I really like them.
I'm not like a Harry Potter fan at all,
me
so I was pretty shocked about how well done the game is.
Dude, I was the first 3 days, I was absolutely engrossed in being a wizard.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, I think visually it's very strong, especially the school itself. Like talking to people I know who love Harry Potter, they're just blown away by the attention to detail.
It's really good.
I think it's really impressive. I mean, with the thing about the game, I think probably only. I mean, it is. I do think it's pretty easy too. It's a pretty easy game once you start getting like certain spells. Like I don't feel like there's that big of a challenge.
But that shit on nightmares.
Yeah,
I mean, but you have an ability. But once you start getting curses, you're absolutely unstoppable.
I do feel like, and once again, I like to play games for immersion sake.
Mm-hmm.
So when I play, I turned off every HUD element except for the mini map, because mini maps are just essential really for especially in the open world game. But like I turned off all of the spell mapping, right? So I memorized all of where all my spells were at. I
went hardcore as shit.
Yeah, so it's a thing of like, to be proficient at combat, I need to know like how to cast my spells, and it's like I have to know the color schemes, and I don't know any of the enemy's health bars, right? So I'm just wailing away until things die. So I'm not completely optimized in like who I'm hitting, using my more powerful spells for people with only like 10% of health, right? So I'm enjoying it more just like being a wizard. That makes sense. Just like running around and doing things versus like following quest markers. But that's
if you played a lot of open world games, it is in that sense kind of basic, right? Like a lot of fetch quests, a lot of like picking up stuff, that type of thing. I mean, but once again, your mileage is going to vary based off how often you can tolerate that. Like with our buddy Chris, like he's played every Assassin's Creed game. He loves that shit, right? It's just like, if you have that type of mind where you're just like, yeah, it's cool, man. I'll just pick it up as I'm going along. That's completely fine.
That was me with Dragon Age.
Yeah.
I fucking love Dragon Age.
Just going along, like I don't mind doing that stuff, right? I think that with my gaming experiences, I tend to like sparse out stuff. I'll go into like a linear title RPG, open world. I'm not doing open world after open world after open world because you're gonna start getting tired. You'll start seeing those big flaws there. But I think and the other big thing that I love about this game, and this is something that was I think introduced in Ghost of Tsushima, if you touch a spot, I can fast travel to it. Right, the fast travel system in this game is fucking amazing.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's the convenience of it is so fantastic. I mean, it doesn't beat flying, in my opinion. I love that.
Flying is so fun.
Yeah. So I actually very underutilize fast travel, and I'm a huge proponent of fast traveling. I Fallout 4, trying to play on the realistic mode or whatever, where you can't fast travel, is like the absolute worst experience ever.
100%.
But
that's terrible.
Like if I'm in the school, if I'm actually in Hogwarts, like I just don't fast travel anywhere.
That's fair.
I sprint there. One, because there's like 400 things to find in the actual school itself. So if I fast travel, I'm never going to find all the things. I only have like 3 more filled pages in Hogwarts. Yeah, pages left, and then like two demiguise things. But
you got to spend more time with Professor Garlic.
That is it's very possible. It's very possible.
Also down bad. For the garlic.
That's the dev's fault for making that character just like I was like, oh shit, I now understand what everyone's talking about. I get it. I'm down with this.
Confirmed.
Yeah, I wish the potion making was a little bit more fleshed out. That was, I'm not gonna say it's my only disappointment, but it was just like I like making potions and I like using the potions. It's cool, but there's like 9 potions and they're very static in what they do. Like I can't make potions. It's just
make it more interactive.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
But I want to be able to explode something on accident, like
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Instead of just like, oh, you're queued it up, like
a Breath of the Wild type thing, right? I'm just throwing ingredients in the pot and then making the. You just
remind me of Pokemon.
Very underrated feature in that game, by the way. No one talks about how like crafting worked in Breath of the Wild. I love the potion, like the crafting, just fucking stuff up and like, okay, that worked. What is that? Why is it burned?
You gotta find the recipe. You can't buy it. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, love that. But isn't there a feature in it's in the reading room, right, where you can like buy like a potion pot and just queue it up instead of like going out and buying it and getting ingredients?
Oh yeah, the room of requirements.
It's your own.
It's like what 10 minutes? I think it's like 12 minutes or something like that.
So the potions are about
a random potion.
The potions are fast. It's the plants that take about 10.
Well, so what he's referring to is a hopping pot, right? So it creates a random potion like every 12 minutes.
Yeah.
You just go into your room and put like 3 of them up, right? Because that's the max you can do, and then you just return back to it every so often.
Yeah,
that's like my room of requirement looks like a factory floor. Like I have,
of course, you are that guy. I've seen you play the forest, man. Like you.
I have all my plants on one wall, and then like all of my potions on one wall, and then like it's like I basically just make a giant circle and just like click.
This was like a sim. This was like a wizard sim game, Brad.
Wizard sim. My favorite is that you guys can like collect the fucking animals. You can save them from the trappers.
Yes,
and then sell them on the black market.
Okay. Yes, but that's not the best part.
No,
that is the best part.
And then you can breed them, and then you have baby animals, baby beasts.
Now you has Pokemon you can sell. That's what I'm talking about.
I like the idea that I can save them from fucking poachers, you heathens, and I get to pet them, and I feed them, and I play with them.
You can sell them back to the poachers at a higher price.
You can battle them together. I mean, it's
what have you done, Pokemon?
Chibi has disconnected. Jesus Christ.
Wizard Pokemon, let's get it.
Oh my god, you take a good thing. Okay, anywho's, but yeah, that's my favorite part. I have done nothing except do that for the past day. Just play with the animals.
So what house is everybody in?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff, that's what I'm talking about.
Slytherin.
We got We got
Hufflepuff has actually
puffs?
if you have it on PlayStation, Hufflepuff actually has like an actual quest that goes with. It's the only way you can access it, which is
prison.
Yeah, it's a Azkaban. Doesn't have
prison.
Azkaban one.
Yep.
Yeah. Which was like for like 2 seconds, bro. It was fucking
Yeah, I heard it's not too
It's
involved.
not. It's not. It's literally.
It's scary.
It's scary. But it's like a minute.
Jump there.
So what I will say, I wish we had access to, but we won't for a while, is when you're on console, you have your own store.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, PC doesn't have that yet.
Oh.
So in Hogsmeade,
Yeah, but you have mods and stuff like that on PC, bro.
right, true.
Get the Glock.
In Hogsmeade, you know the boarded up house or the boarded up building?
I think so. Yeah.
That's supposed to be our store.
Mhm.
That's the store on console.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I guess I'm not there yet because it's still a boarded up house for me. So
Are you console?
Just get the.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, just get the mods though, man. Right.
Turn Glock.
I'm gonna turn Deke into a Glock holding Glock holding. What are they? Goblins? Deke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite thing I've seen is that someone rolled up, right, was starting to shoot, right, and then they jumped away and they rode off on Thomas the Tank Engine. It was the best thing I've ever fucking seen.
I saw one where they ride on Shrek.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was so disturbing.
It does. It looks very bad.
Oh god,
it's so good.
I still like.
They are making a multiplayer mod.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
They're making that multiplayer mod based off the multiplayer mod in Skyrim, which Brad played.
Same guy that developed it.
By the way, so because they had that, I guess they took that program, and they were like, we can actually put this, or at least beta test it, in Hogwarts Legacy, which is.
And it's not Avalanche though. It's just a third party guy.
Yeah, it's just a third party mod. Yeah.
Most of the time, most developers, you know, Bethesda especially, they're not gonna fucking touch me. You know, they'll let you mod their game for them, right?
I mean,
they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it themselves.
Right now, you have to pay a Patreon to get access to it. But right now, that's even a thing that you can't get access to unless somebody invites you.
Yeah. Good. But that's a pretty cool program. I want to see how it works.
Yeah.
Brad, how did it work in Skyrim? Did it work well?
It was comical. Basically the host of the game has to host the game almost like a server on their side, and then people connect to it. It worked until it didn't. Like, it was like really weird artifacting and like just random objects just like floating in the air. It was super easy to duplicate things, which was pretty cool. We could just like duplicate like firewood and stuff to sell infinitely and whatnot until we broke it. We absolutely just broke the game and like everything crashed. It was pretty bad.
Always test until failure.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was better than Elder Scrolls Online, in my opinion. So that's not a real high bar in the first place for me.
I mean, ESO is still going strong somehow.
I know a lot of people that play it. I couldn't. That's being one of 4 billion saviors of the world just doesn't appeal to me. I mean,
is that really the like thing that like hangs you up on MMOs and stuff like that? It's like you can't just be the guy.
Like I said, like it to me, it is a merchant thing. It's like this is a story. You know, if
I think maybe they shouldn't have sold it as that, right? Like if you play like Dragon Age, like if you're the, you know, the warden, the Grey Warden, like okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're, you know, in Elder Scrolls Online, don't tell me I'm the chosen one. Yet you have other players who are the chosen one.
I don't want to be the only one.
Yeah, it needs to be me.
We are the chosen ones.
Yeah, not I am. We are.
Yeah. It's an MMO for a reason, you know. But I can solo it, which also doesn't, you know, I guess conflicts with that statement.
Yes. All right, awkward silence. I guess we're moving to the next topic. So in the last month or so, there have been, I don't know, like 15 games announced for cancellation or ending or getting canceled, deleted. I don't know what the proper term is. They're running out of juice, so they're being axed. So is that the proper terminology?
So their games as a service, right? What he's referencing, and they're all pretty much closing. They're all ending, essentially.
Oh, is it because not enough traction? Essentially,
I mean, pretty much you're not making any money anymore,
right? Yeah,
or they don't see any benefit.
Oh.
So this is my question is like games as a service. Like, is that it's a multi-tier approach in my thought process, but one is like, is it a long-term viable strategy? Because as soon as you lose interest, you still have to support the game for it to exist.
You actually, well, I mean, somewhat, right? So games as a service right now is pretty much you can see incredible benefit in terms of like revenue stream if it does succeed. So for example, the Division 2, Rainbow Six Siege, anything that's live service right now, and we've talked about this before, right? Because when you look at a game like Destiny 2, right? It's been around for how long now?
A while, right?
And technically, it wasn't even supposed to exist because Destiny was supposed to be that 10-year game. And Destiny 2, came about because there were a number of flaws with Destiny that were corrected. And so right now, you're seeing a lot of people, a lot of developers, especially indie developers, smaller ones, trying to jump in and trying to get some of that market share because there are a number of games of service that were really successful. Fortnite is one, Apex Legends, anything that's multiplayer centric that has is
Valorant.
essentially Valorant. Like Riot Games they have like the blueprint. League of Legends, Valorant. They're gonna make a fighting game that's gonna come out either this year or next year. It's gonna be free to play, tag fighter.
Oh.
And fighting games are really fucking hard to maintain interest in because as you go along and as you as you grow in a fighting game, you're going to start to see like you're going to get to a level where maybe that's pretty much as high as I can go, right? Because there was always going to be players who were just fucking insane at the game. Multiverses, for example, they saw a 99% drop in their player base just recently, so they're under 1,000 players, and it's almost been a year, right? And that's fucking crazy considering
I might
how
be able to win a
popular that
match
game
now.
was.
I might have a chance.
So it's gonna continue to happen. Games are live service titles are they're gonna continue to pop up because people see that there is a market for them. You're gonna make money, but it's insane how many have failed so far. Knockout City, I think, is out. What's going offline?
Yeah, I used to love Knockout City, man.
It was fun.
It was fun. We used to do tournaments.
Good.
Yeah, the show was fun.
I do have a list.
Apex Legends Mobile.
Apex Legends Mobile. That's actually the very first one. Battlefield Mobile, Crime Site, Crossfire X, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Die, Echo VR, Knockout City, Love Live, School Idol Festival. Don't know what that is.
No, that is either.
Rumbleverse. I know that the Final Fantasy First Soldier was canceled this month, last month, something like that.
There's only so long you can do it. So basically, the reason why they fail is because they do not have enough content to sustain themselves. So certain games like Rocket League, the reason why that game persists is because no one's hit the skill ceiling yet. There's still things like almost 7 years afterwards being discovered in that game all the time, and there's pro players showing it.
So bad.
Yeah, Brad just can't flip reset. So there's pro players doing it, all that type of stuff, and then like you have like Apex, which was a shadow drop, but Apex Legends consistently gives new content. Like they just added Team Deathmatch.
Yeah,
dude, they're always posting new content like
that's
in the
fucking
game.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much canceled the Titanfall game, right? That they were planning, and then I think they had like another thing planned as well. And they saw Apex Legends Mobile and were like, "You're not making us money." The fucked up thing is like people have bought things out of Apex Legends Mobile recently, and they just say, "Hey, we're ending it." So I don't know what's going to happen in terms of refunds, but that market is there for the taking, right? You still have like a really big piece of the pie you can still grab. It just depends on, is your content map good enough? Because Knockout City, you're right, Chibi. Knockout City was fantastic. It really was. But what could you add to that game?
Yeah, and it just got very repetitive.
Exactly.
It's like
it could have used some new maps.
Yeah, new maps, new. Yeah, I see what you're saying though.
Something. New maps, modes,
new dodgeballs.
I think new modes,
different types of dodgeballs. Yeah,
like they had so much potential with that. Everybody liked it.
But I think I'd wondered about that too because I was like, man, there's no way Knockout City's doing well. Like it went from, and the other thing is, this is the other big thing. I've talked to Jack and Brad about this. there's this weird ass idea where they think that you can charge us for a game that's going to be out for 7 years, right? Like Knockout City, no disrespect, should not have been $20. Should have been free to play.
Should have been 8. Oh yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, $0.
Holy shit! Yeah, you're right.
Rocket Royale, right? Which was like another game that nobody remembers, but I do because I played the beta. This game came out when they announced it. I thought, oh, free to play. This is, and by the way, Rocket Royale it was Rocket Arena, great game, really fun. But EA for some reason was like, yeah, we're gonna charge $30 for it. I was like, your game is dead on arrival. And then almost every month since its release, they were like dropping it in price. So eventually it was $3, and it still couldn't save that game. So, in my opinion, if you want to leg up immediately, free to play. Now, Fall Guys was different, right? That was, I think, free for 2 months on the PlayStation Store. And then I think like a year later, they eventually went to Epic or something like that, right? So they want to reinvigorate the player base. Then they went free to play, and it brought back the player base, but the player base has obviously died down, even though I think that their content is fantastic. They have so much shit going on in that game. The issue is that's a really fucking niche game.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta be in a mood, man, because that game pisses me off. I get mad. I get mad when I get soft on by 10-year-olds.
A battle royale without combat.
Yeah. It's a game show. It's a game show. Yeah. And for it to have the appeal that it did was impressive. But, right now I think the market is like, I feel like battle royales still have not, I would say like the concept of it has still not died out because of how popular Warzone is and Apex Legends is and Fortnite. That gameplay loop is perfect, right? So,
well, it's perfect for content,
correct. But it's also, but like you can't deny that Fortnite right now, when they took away building, was like that shit was fun to play again.
Yeah, it is.
I literally played it the other day.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's nice to have a competitive game like that,
Yeah.
Because the only other competitive games right now, if you remove battle royales, would be your things like,
2042.
It's a battle royale. But I mean, you have things like Overwatch. You have your MOBAs, and I wouldn't want to play because those are fucking like 30-minute, 45-minute games sometimes.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Unless you're just good and you can just sweep.
I mean, what was it last night? We got through an attack round in 3 minutes.
Hell yeah, Jack! I gotta play with you guys again.
Still too long.
Yeah.
I mean, what's crazy is that Ubisoft is pretty much the king of live service, though. Like every one of their games, that's what they primarily focus on.
Well, I mean, I feel like king is a strong word.
Well, I would say like they're the ones who produce the most.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll go with that. Yeah.
They're a factory for
Czar,
it, right?
Yeah,
Czar.
The Czar.
They're a factory for it, and the problem with like their live service model is that they're complete. I think Ubisoft was recently complaining about like, oh well, we had to cancel 7 games. It's like, yeah, because all you do is put out games to fucking die. Like Riders Republic, which by the way, good game. I wouldn't necessarily pay $60 for it. Right? It's a very niche sports game. And like For Honor, which somehow, by the way, great game. I have no idea how it's survived almost 8 years now. So Ubisoft, they keep shooting themselves in the foot, but they know that for live service titles, there is money to be had there because you not only have your game, the core content, you have DLC, microtransactions, you have major expansions, smaller content, that type of stuff. It's never going to go away. I feel like games as a service is pretty much not necessarily, it's not, I wouldn't say the future, it's the present right now. Right.
So my issue with it, and this is just totally a personal thing, to me, it's games being handled more like a business than art. Right. And that's why I really gravitate towards indie games, smaller titles, things like that, because these games as a service, they're just like, how can we make money from this for the next 3 years? I feel like a lot of I'm not gonna say content. I'm not gonna say that the content suffers, but it's the quality of everything.
I think that's pretty apt as a description.
I agree.
So, and then once that service dies, once that game stops existing, how do I get to play it again, on my own time? You don't.
You could always
stops.
just download. If you miss Anthem that much, you can just download it again, Brad. Okay, you'd be the only person
act like
playing
I
it.
ever deleted it. I love flying around and doing nothing. It's amazing.
I cannot believe BioWare made that game. Jesus Christ.
So,
it went
dude,
from like Dragon Age to fucking Anthem. What are you doing, man?
I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed the game for a good 4 days. And then I was like, that's it? Yeah, all right, cool. All right. Like the content loop was great until you had to cycle through it one more time. And then I was like, okay, like it was really cool to figure things out. But once you figured it out, it was like that was it. There was no other thing to do. It was just you go here, fight a bunch of small bad guys, run over here, fight a bunch of small bad guys. And like I really feel like their marketing was like really awkwardly done because they were like flying around, this magical land, and it was like that was probably the coolest part of the game, but it was like such a small section of it. It was just.
Jack, have either of you seen the trailer for Anthem when it first came out, the gameplay trailer?
No.
So pretty much they tried I don't know, there's this thing, and it was like a couple years ago where every multiplayer centric game had like fake audio, right? Where they're like they were trying to communicate with each other as a squad, to kind of get people hyped up about how the game's supposed to be, right? That's how they did it in The Division. They did it with Anthem. And it was like what they had showed you, right, was not in the game.
they said no.
They pulled the rug, right, as soon as you got in, like, got these fuckers. All right, thanks for paying
$60. we pulled you in the wrong way.
I think one of the games that recently came out that I kind of feel bad for because there's certain live service games that I think are really underrated, like Outriders. I really like that game, but Square Enix, man, they did not market it well. They made that game come off like a fucking Gears of War wannabe when really it was like a really in-depth cover shooter with like really cool abilities. And, maybe that also plays into it, right? You need to be able to market your game properly.
Yeah. I was going to say marketing is a hella big thing. Like if you don't market right, it just...
Yeah, I mean,
even if it's a great game.
The crazy thing about Apex Legends, what I found so interesting was that when they shadow dropped it, Reddit was losing their fucking mind because they're like, dude, Respawn is possibly... Well, no, Respawn was possibly making like a Titanfall 2 successor. So Titanfall was like a wildly popular game. It has like that cult classic feeling. And it was in demand. And so when Apex Legends dropped, people were like, I'll fucking play it. And then you pretty much took Titanfall 2's gameplay.
Yeah.
And then
remove the Titans.
Yeah, remove the Titans, give heroes with abilities. And then you made this really fun team-based battle royale. And it's grown, ever since. Now, I mean, I know people are complaining because it's probably one of those things where it's like, are we doing too much? Are we adding too much to the game?
That was going to be my thing. It's like every time I go on there, it's almost too much.
Well, I mean, you have to have we talked about this with Rainbow Six Siege. Brad, you remember that? Jack, you were there too. Remember we were talking about the counters and stuff like that?
Yes.
Like when do we tell ourselves? Yeah, when do we tell ourselves it's too much? No, seriously, Chibi.
Yeah, no. Where's the line? No, I agree with you.
It's called r6counters.com.
And
it literally is
ridiculous.
This massive line graph or line chart or whatever, and it has like counters to counter. It's how everyone fights each other. Who counters who at what level?
Yeah.
Right? High diff, low diff, mid diff, that type of stuff. It is the most extensive thing. No one counters Buck though. Go Canada. What?
I don't even know what that means, but okay.
There's shotguns.
Go Canada, baby. But like Ubisoft just kind of went off the rails with like their characters. Like they didn't vault anybody. They didn't really, every time they introduce a new character, that character's usually the strongest, that type of stuff. But with Apex, they usually balance out pretty quickly after people complain. But you're 16 seasons in, and it's one of the most successful battle royales in games as a service right now.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how the fuck do people still mess this up? You have all of these examples of what to do.
They want to try and be like super different, like too different. Like I think it's good to be different, but
did you guys know that in the development of Anthem, they didn't want to even mention Destiny about like as an example of what to do? That's what they were saying. They're like, don't even mention that game. I'm like, you should mention that game. That's what's successful right now. It's okay to steal, right? Or draw inspiration from. Completely fine. But
he said it's okay to steal.
Yeah, this is why it's very important to have competition, because that's what drives creativity.
No, absolutely.
And the ability to be
different. Because you
want
to top it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you should know by the time Destiny 2 came out, everyone should have had an idea. Like, this is how we're going to be successful. Same thing with Fortnite, right?
Yep.
Fortnite saw PUBG and was like, we're stealing you. Don't worry. I like battle royales too. And it ruined Fortnite for Brad, obviously, right? He fucking freaked out and was like, my save the world mode, which you can still play, by the way.
Yeah. I'll never know the full potential of that mode.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh, dude, I don't really think you could have added much more to that tower defense mode, you know? Dude, you want Travis Scott doing a concert during Save the World?
I want a Travis Scott zombie boss. What are you talking about?
Oh, that'd be sick.
Dude, I actually really liked the marketing for Fortnite. Like, a lot of the trailers for they made it more look like a Left 4 Dead type of game. Like, you know, they're like hiding in like a fast food restaurant. Like, the zombies break in and they like build stuff, and then, you know, they kill all the zombies obviously and run away. But
it's definitely a unique concept.
Yeah, and I like building things and I like zombies. So, or I guess I like killing zombies. So it was just a really good, thing. There was a lot of micromanagement that I didn't care about.
A psychopath.
Exactly.
Those are both things that I hate.
You act like you didn't know this.
I knew.
Like a year ago.
His obsession.
I hate building and I hate zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, I hated the building mode.
Teamwork.
I like killing zombies. Excuse me.
They scare me. I don't like looking at them. They scaring me.
Oh.
That's my greatest fear. We've talked about this.
But they're cartoony, though.
They're so scary.
It's like Plants vs. Zombies, right?
They're terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's another Games as a Service that died. EA's Plants vs. Zombies 2, Garden Warfare. That was a good game.
Good.
Yeah.
It's free on Game Pass still.
Is there still a server for it, man?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't tried playing it.
I mean, listen, if Fallout 76 can't survive all the bullshit, then, hopefully something else pulls through too.
Yes.
What do you got next, Brad?
You actually kind of alluded to this.
Ooh.
With the recent success with Metroid Prime and Hi-Fi Rush being shadow drops, right? Mm-hmm. Like, will companies start to do this? I'm not gonna say more often, but like with more prevalent games, because it's a risky maneuver. But
it is very risky.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
This is going to sound really stupid, but can you explain what a shadow drop is for plebs like me?
It's where you drop the beat, but in the background.
So think exactly like Apex came out. Nobody knew that was going to be a game, and then they were like, "Hey, we have this game."
So is it just like bam here?
Yeah. Okay. You have murmurs of an announcement, right? There's rumors going around, and then what they do is they show off the trailer for the game, and they drop the game the same day. It's a shadow.
Okay.
But it's hit or miss on whether or not that can be successful. Apex got really.
I could see that.
I wouldn't say lucky. They just turned out to have a really good game.
Yeah, Apex had a great developer backing it. Correct.
Right.
Hi-Fi Rush, though, I think that's like one of my biggest surprises. That I have no fucking clue how Tango game works. They're primarily known for the Evil Within, right?
Mm-hmm.
How they came out and dropped this like Devil May Cry beat game that is fucking incredible, and you can play it on Game Pass right now.
Wait, what is it called?
It's called Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
It has some of the best visuals I've seen, like in terms of like anime, cartoonish, like cell shade. It's beautiful. It's one of the best looking games, and it plays fucking amazing.
What type of game is it?
It's like Devil May Cry, so
like Devil May Cry. Okay.
Yeah, but like there's like beat. You have to go by the beat and stuff like that. So it's a rhythm game. It's a rhythm action game, which by the way is becoming like that's a burgeoning genre right now. Like rhythm action games are like showing up everywhere.
The fucking trombone one.
Yeah,
that one's goofy as fuck.
I still need to play. Yeah, it's so funny to see people play it.
I had that on my wish list. I had it because I saw a YouTube video of it and it looked so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but Brad's rhythm game is Final Fantasy. Isn't that right, Brad? Final Fantasy, the rhythm or whatever it is.
I want to see you play, Jack.
I don't know what that's.
By the way, I do not like the fact, Brad, you're right. I do not like the fact the buttons are so loud. when you
Yeah,
press it.
it's super weird. It's just
so
like
distracting.
the music's in the background and it's like blink, blink, blink. I'm like, God, like what,
Yeah, that's
what is going on?
So, did you guys know that Metroid Prime was remastered? Do you guys know what Metroid Prime is? I know,
Yes,
Jack, I know
yeah.
you know. Yeah. Chibi, you don't know what that is? So, Metroid Prime was a game that came out on the GameCube. It's widely considered one of the best first-person shooters and best, like, kind of, I would say, like, deviations to a game ever. Because the original Metroid games are 2D side-scrollers, right? And obviously, they created, like, they helped create a genre. And so, Nintendo, in their last Direct, was like, hey, we know you guys have been bitching about it. Here's Metroid Prime Remastered. And we're like, okay, cool. It's going to come out like June.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay,
that's usually what Nintendo does, right? They'll show something in a Direct and it's like the summer. And then they were like, yeah, it drops today. And we're like,
you're like, what? You're
so
like,
I downloaded
okay,
it, right? And it's fantastic. It really is. Who would have known just kind of like modernizing that game just a little bit, like adding, you know, a usable right thumbstick like for camera.
You could do it a lot of games like that. Just modernize it, it would be solid.
Yeah.
Persona 3.
But I do agree, Brad, with Jack about the whole shadow drop thing. I think you could absolutely fuck that up for a certain game.
Oh, of course. You know, I'm not saying like, you know, take your big IPs and just randomly throw them, you know, out the window.
But it would be but a good surprise, right? Like Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So there's
Final Fantasy Tactics, please.
I think exactly. I think there is kind of a I don't know the financials that goes into like game development, but it's like for one, you don't have to market the game, right?
That does cost a lot of money.
Yeah. So I mean, there's promotional campaigns don't have to. Right. You don't have to worry about promotional campaigns going good or bad, right? You don't have to release trailers and then let the internet pick them apart for months.
Are you talking about Forspoken?
And then you don't have to delay the game 4 times, and then you don't it's just like no one knows about it until it's here, and then you let people talk about the finished product when it's finished.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which most games are not really finished when they're dropped, but it's like I think it's a like a pure way of gaming in the sense of you don't let everything be influenced by everything.
Yeah, I could see the benefits of it for sure.
There's definite excitement when Metroid Prime Remastered got announced, like during the Direct, because a lot of people, because Metroid Prime 4 was announced how many years ago, Brad? 3 now? 4 years or something like that?
Sounds about right.
It got announced like 3 to 4 years ago. People got like really hyped up, but haven't seen anything of it since, right?
It was a teaser trailer that was like 6 seconds long.
Yeah,
with just
it literally was like the logo, Metroid Prime 4. We're like, yeah, fuck yeah.
I think sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. And then essentially it was like there had been rumors that Metroid Prime would be remastered, because why would you not do that to build up to Metroid Prime 4? So I think what's going to happen is that through the directs throughout the year, and I think they're probably going to have one in the summer and they're going to have one in the fall, is that you're going to see Metroid Prime Remastered 2 and 3. And then eventually we'll get like at one of these directs Metroid Prime 4. I think that would be like my logical conclusion to all this, because you could essentially get like the entire collection, get people really anticipating what 4 could be, and then release it. So technically that'd be all the marketing you would need to do for Metroid Prime 4 to get people hyped.
That makes sense. I think the one thing you need to keep in mind as a studio or a publisher is, if you're going to shadow drop something, I would hope it would be something that people are looking for. Like, you don't shadow drop something of a game that we already have an abundance of, because then people aren't going to go to it, because there's already top players in the field for it.
So I mean, essentially, it's just preying off nostalgia.
I don't think she liked that question.
No. Gee, okay, fine.
Run.
Bye.
No, Beat stole one of my wigs. I'm sorry. I saw him just take off with it. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause a distraction.
But I think it really needs to be something that people are actually looking for. Because if you come out with something out of nowhere and people didn't have it in the back of their mind of something they wanted, then they're not even going to pay any attention to it.
And it's not going to do well. Yeah. And then Jack, you just wasted a good game.
So do you guys think that preying on nostalgia is a really effective way?
Oh, I think so.
You know,
I mean, look at us. people in our generation, we love nostalgia. We love things that take us back to things that we used to love doing when we were kids.
Mm.
And I think if you hook on that, you can be very successful.
Nintendo does have a track record of doing this at directs too. It's usually like once a year they'll like shadow drop a game. I just didn't think Xbox would drop Hi-Fi Rush essentially that was like word of mouth too. Once that dropped, people were like, you can try it out. It's on Game Pass, obviously. So if you have access to it, go ahead and do it. And then it turned out to be one of the best games of the year. Right? A lot of people say that's the standard right now, and I agree with that.
And also with the prevalence of these subscriptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you shadow drop a game, you're like, hey, look, you have nothing to lose. If you have the service, you can play the game right now, and you don't know about it, but you know,
Nintendo will never actually do that though. They're like, you will pay for this.
I think a lot of people are willing to try stuff that's free. You know, they hear free, they're definitely going to try it out and download it.
One of the other things that Nintendo did at the Direct was they dropped that Game Boy Advance and what was it? It was the Game Boy Color, right? The Game Boy, it was being added to the Nintendo eShop, so as like one of the subscription services. So there's a lot of games that people want to replay, and once again, right? I'll bring this game up. Fuck it. Brad knows what I'm talking about. Legend of Dragoon is dropping on February 21st, right? So an entire fan base for the past 4 or 5 years been clamoring for this game to be remade, which when it came out, it was not exactly the most well-received game, but fans have hung on to it and loved it. So this game is coming out and is going to be on PlayStation Plus Classic, right? And then it's also, I think you're going to be able to buy it too for like $10 or something like that. Sony is more than likely doing this to gauge interest into whether or not a remake is feasible, right? Are we actually going to make money off?
I agree.
Because I mean, how much money are you putting in to release a game like that?
Like an HD re-release? Not much, right? You just have to
an interest form.
It's like backwards compatibility, right? It's part of your software. You already have that. It's an update. Yeah. Well, the problem is, if people are going to clamor for this game, or any game rather, and then you don't fucking buy it, like, then what was the point of you bringing up all this smoke for? What was the point of you having this demand?
For clout.
For clout. Like you didn't really give a shit about that game, And that's essentially the problem with certain shadow drops. Like with Metroid Prime, Nintendo knows what its fan base wants. They're probably one of the few developers who are like, they want Metroid, we'll give them fucking Metroid. You want Zelda, we'll give you Zelda. All of their established franchises are, constantly coming back, with the exception of let's think, Kid Icarus or something like that. I'm pretty sure, but eventually that'll make its way there. People want F-Zero back, right? I wouldn't mind that, But Nintendo will constantly revive IPs, and they'll see if you buy it. Right? They'll put your money where your mouth is. Don't tell me that you're going to do something and then fucking just, leave it to die. If a Parasite Eve game came out today, Brad would fucking buy it. Don't lie to me, Brad.
Twice.
Not twice. If Square Enix said, "Hey, Final Fantasy Tactics Remake 2.5 HD is coming out," I'm buying it today. I'll buy a copy for everyone here. Right? That's how this shit goes. I'll do a fucking giveaway for that game. I love it.
The one shadow drop game that I was very surprised. Well, I knew I was gonna like it because it's XCOM, but it was like a 7-day announcement. But the XCOM Chimera Squad, it was it was announced. It was announced the week before it actually released, and then they did a 25% discount the week after it released, just to say, hey, we're here, right? So it's $15. And I really enjoyed it. I know it was kind of lukewarm recepted because it went against what ACOM really was. It was the opposite. But
it's really risky to do, shadow drops or the week prior, because if you imagine, it's what movie went back to? Was it Morbius when people were memeing it up and they put it back in theaters and it still didn't make money? some people are just bullshitting. So if you're not in touch with like how things are actually working today, but I think there are certain games you could bring back right now. Like if they brought back was A Link to the Past, if they said, hey, we're doing a shadow drop for that and that art style that I think Link's Adventure was, people would buy it right now. Like I would not be surprised if like Metroid Prime Remastered is a bestseller by the end of this month in terms of where like the NPD charts come out. So I mean, shadow drops, I love when they do them. I think it's a good gift to the fans. It all depends on the quality too. So
I guess it could be construed as, we don't want people to notice that we are releasing the game, so here it is. So I mean, like it is I can see both sides of the coin.
To kind of push the barrier of criticism away from you. It's like did you not see the game we put out? Or do you not have phones? I don't understand, guys. Why don't you love this game? You said you'd buy it. We have your name here, Willie Jim. You said you'd buy 5 copies right now.
That's exactly, that's exactly a good example of putting something out that nobody wanted.
Right.
Like if that's a prime example of that.
They didn't know that they wanted. See that people might discover something about themselves.
That.
The kids still want 2042, Jack. That's why we're in season 4, I think.
Right.
We still haven't fixed anything.
No, just to be sure, Chibi, are you following on what we're referencing? Okay.
Good.
I am.
It's an inside joke. And,
Chibi, what game would you like from your past? Would you want Shadow Drop? Honestly, that you want back?
SSX Tricky.
Yes.
What is it called?
It was such
have you
a
solid
SSX. Okay, the snowboard.
It was such
a
solid PlayStation 2 game.
It was fun.
When EA had their big label. Yeah, they had their big label. They had the show, which was like MLB. They had NFL Street, they had NBA Street, they had FIFA Street, and then they had the SSX.
I'm gonna fucking roll with that shit.
And SSX was so fucking
dope. It was so fire, bro.
Fun.
It was solid. Like anytime I see it, I like immediately like, fuck, this game is good.
Because it was a spiritual successor to a game called Cool Borders.
Oh, really?
Back in the day.
I was a baby.
Cool Borders, bro. I played the demo and I was like, I love this game. I want more. I want more of it right now. And then SSX Tricky came out, and I was like, "Oh,
it's way too good." It was just so good. But then, like a couple of years later, I think on the PS3, they released like another version of it. I don't even remember what the name was, but I believe it was also from EA, and it just was not the same. It was like more techy, and it just was like tried too hard. I think with the times.
Well, it's just not like
I just
what
did
Ubisoft
not
usually does when they
did not like it. It made me so sad. I was like, why can't we just go back to what it was?
Didn't N64 have a comparative?
They did. I can't remember what the game's called.
Yeah, yes. I'm trying to think of it.
1080.
Yes,
1080 degrees or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would say it.
Yeah, you can shoot snowballs and stuff at them, right?
Yeah, I remember when that game came out. I was like, God, why does Nintendo want to be so fucking different, bro?
You want to be different.
There was also a kids one that I really liked to play on. I think it was on the N64, like Snow Kids or something.
Oh, it was more cartoony looking.
Yeah. I mean, it was more of a racing game than like a snowboarding game itself.
Okay.
But I remember what
we need more kart racers, right? Mario Kart needs to come up with a 9.
Fuck your bananas.
What wave are we in right now for Mario Kart for the maps? Is it wave 3? Right.
That sounds about right. I actually played it.
I haven't played it in a while.
I haven't either.
Yeah. I played it week before last.
Nintendo's answer to fucking to people wanting Mario Kart 9. You guys don't like old maps? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Here's all the games you've already played.
You know what's weird is that they have like Nintendo just like they put out sequels to games I didn't think people were actually big fans of, like Pikmin. I was like, really, people like that game? Like, I was kind of shocked. I told Jack about it. Jack was like, what the hell is Pikmin? I was like, yeah, it's a little game where you can control little...
Yeah. I think that was more of a cult classic type thing.
Yeah. I just know Pikmin from Smash Bros, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nintendo just kind of throws the bone out there. Like, you guys want
I was
more?
like, what the fuck is Pikmin?
Yeah, I had no idea what the hell that was.
Same.
I mean, they're bringing out Baiten Katos, which is fucking... Nobody remembers that game because it came out on the GameCube. It was an RPG for the GameCube.
God, I was like, GameCube.
I was like, wait, Biden Kaidos is coming out? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's no way. Where's Golden Sun, you bastards? Like, bring that game back. All right, Brad. We've talked enough on fucking Shadow Drops, man.
I do like me some Shadow Bringers, so
okay.
Figured.
Have you played that expansion?
No.
No, exactly.
That was just the first Shadow game that came to mind. I don't know why it said Shadowbringers.
Shadow Warriors.
Shadowlands. The
What
expansion. That's WoW.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That's how Addis. That's how like I with WoW. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right. What's your next?
All right. If you had to pick one food item from any video game ever, what would you pick? And why would it be a cup of noodles from Final Fantasy 15?
Because they're sponsored by fucking Cup of Noodles.
on your Coleman grill, or what was it? Coleman? What was the camp?
I think it is Coleman.
It was Coleman. Yeah,
that was a weird thing too in Final Fantasy 15. They were sponsored by so many different fucking things. Food wise, though, oh my god, that's a hard question.
I was trying to think of just some random like video game questions to ask after all the serious ones, and I'm like, you know what? Everyone loves food.
I'm trying to think like I'm trying to think about what's the.
What are you trying to say, bro?
Question.
What are you saying,
what are you trying to say, bro?
What are you trying to say?
Jack, always talking about lumpia or whatever. So.
What is the best like
pizza from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I was gonna say
that's
that. Yeah,
fair. Yeah, that's a good one.
Especially like was it in the arcade games? Like you would like immediately start doing like one of the fucking super moves and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that's so cool. It made that pizza look delicious, but you know goddamn well it's probably it ain't good for you.
DiGiorno's.
I was gonna say Little Caesars.
I think like Final Fantasy 15 though probably had some of the most appealing looking food.
Oh, dude, like I want to know.
You know what food? Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter has like
stand by that.
Monster Hunter World has some of the best looking food I have ever seen.
Bro,
I'm like,
they even made the dongle look good. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you go so hard in World and Rise to make this food look fucking delicious? Right? They were making a roast, I think, in Iceboard, and I was like, why? I'm hungry. God damn.
Like I gotta go eat.
I don't want to play now.
But so I want to know the person that like got hired in Square to be like that was put on Final Fantasy 15 as a developer or designer, and they were like, all right, listen, your one job is just to make food. And they're like,
and to make it as appealing as fucking possible. Because some of the food in there is just amazing. I was like, what is going on in this game, dude? You go into like other games like, Breath of the Wild, it's like cartoonish and it's funny looking, right? You go into like Final Fantasy 15, they're not fucking around. It's like real world cuisine. I think there's there might be an actual book or a guide that actually tells you like the recipes and stuff like that. You can look it up too. Recipes of Final Fantasy 15 outside of Cup of Noodle, which
let's see,
Cup of Noodle
would be an amazing sponsor. For all the poor college students out there.
I don't know if I really.
I feel like I'm transported back to my days.
Cup of noodle, some hot
Cup of noodles. Actually, I'm still eating that. I don't know.
There's an unofficial cookbook that went for sale.
Yeah, that's good looking food, man. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
It's called "That's It: The Unofficial Final Fantasy 15 Community Cookbook Complete Edition."
That's
crazy.
It.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, that's what what is his name? Brad. Ignis? What's his name?
Ignis.
Yeah. Ignis.
Yeah, Ignis. When he's like, that's it. And as he makes it be like, God damn, that shit look good. Are you sharing, motherfucker? Like, what's going on here?
You got some for me?
I'm trying to think. I don't think Persona cooks, right?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Dog break. I'm sorry.
Did not like that answer.
No.
Yeah, he did not like that. I know. I'm trying to think from Persona. Most of it was like pretty normal. Like, I mean, 5 was you were in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Maybe like the big noodle challenges.
Oh yeah, when they had like the big burgers.
Yeah, or like the big burger challenges. I think in 4 it's big noodle challenges. But yeah, the fucking UFO burgers, bro.
So eventually, when Suikoden 2 comes out, or the remaster comes out, in the second game, there's an Iron Chef mode or
Oh.
like competition. So like you'll go in there and like they actually have a dude who's one of the characters you recruit, and his entire job is to just be like the Iron Chef. And he straight up walks in and he'll like you'll go up against like certain characters that you have in your party, and you'll have to like duel them. And like, what are you preparing? And like, you have to do it based off who the judges are. So if like a judge is like
okay,
a
that
person
makes
who
sense.
has like bland taste buds, you have to fucking like legitimately make some shitty food.
Yeah.
And they're like 5 stars. That was amazing. It's like, what the fuck?
Chef's kiss. You didn't add salt.
Right.
That was bread.
That was bread.
There's nothing else on it. What the fuck?
I have
It's
the
stale.
I have the 10 tastiest looking food in video games from Gamer Rant.
Hell yeah.
Toast from I Am Bread. Cake
yeah.
from Minecraft. Mushrooms from Super Mario Brothers.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Elegant orange cake from Final Fantasy 15. That looks really good, actually.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute.
Sea salt ice cream from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you could get food there too.
Goat cheese wheel from Skyrim. A lot of cheese.
Delicious.
I do like my cheese.
Fish and chips from Overcooked.
Oh, that's right.
Foul burger from Grand Theft Auto 4.
A fucking cooking game.
Butterscotch pie from Undertale. And number 1. Chocolate frogs from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
What the
I told you it's wrong.
These people are fucking
there
evil.
was a game called Battle Chef Brigade, and it's a very weird combination of game mechanics. But basically, you duel chefs. So you're one chef, and you're dueling another chef, and you have to go and fight like animals to get your ingredients. This is all on a timer, so you have like 5 minutes to go and like kill the animals to bring the ingredients, and then you have to do like a Tetris type thing. You have to like put the ingredients in the bowl, but it's like they have to like match and like fuse together and whatever. And there's also the judges, so the judges have their own like taste buds or whatever, so you have to match your ingredient like strengths or whatever to their strengths. And the food in there, it's kind of weird. It's like kind of anime animal-esque sometimes.
So it's like hyper stylized and fictional.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But some of that food looked really cool too. It's just a really weird game. I enjoyed playing it for a few hours.
Oh, you know what else you can cook in? Genshin Impact. You also cook in that.
Nope.
You know what?
Yeah,
I would
true.
probably say something from Genshin. Like they had a lot of good looking food in Genshin.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to think of earlier. I was like, I know there's one game that I'm always getting so fucking hungry in.
So it was surprising how like detailed. I'm like, why? Why do you gotta make it look good right now?
Why? No, I agree.
What else you got, Brad? Do you have anything else?
I actually don't.
You actually?
I was ready for like 50 Q&A flash.
Yeah, this dude was like, I got 50 questions.
Yeah,
I was fucking ready.
Yeah.
Let's put Jack on the spot. Jack, give us a question. Give us a gaming question.
Give y'all a gaming question.
Don't you Google it.
What was your favorite sad scene in a game?
Favorite sad scene in a game?
I don't know how to answer that myself, but you told me to ask a question.
That's actually a good question.
Good.
It was the scene. It was when I was younger. Is when fucking Chrono died in Chrono Trigger. So like you fight Lavos.
I think he deserved it actually.
Well, yeah, possibly. You fight Lavos, right? And then fucking Chrono sacrifices himself to save everybody. And then he's like dead. And then like you have to go back. It's up Death Mountain to like bring like you go up the mountain and you bring up like it's like a doll that looks like him, right? And you have to bring his body back. And like I was like, this is a really surprisingly emotional scene for a fucking like pixel art game. I was like, I'm actually kind of sad right now. Like, why did they fucking kill the main character? Jesus.
I have 2 of them, I think.
Oh yeah, go.
One of them was Stray, when the robot, the cat and the robot. And then the other one was Detroit Become Human. The train scene with the woman and the girl. Or was it a train? But what it was, they were at the camp and they end up getting killed. Depending
that near
on
the end?
depending, huh? Not
Was
heavy
that near
rain.
the end?
Oh yeah, near the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that all depends on what route you took with your story.
Oh.
That was
Oh,
one of
okay.
the that was one of the scenes.
I do have another one too, but I'll let Brad go first.
Why?
Go, Brad. What's a sad scene in the game?
I have a few of them. One, and this one's kind of surprising to me because I knew it was going to happen because it was a prequel, but in Crisis Core, just that whole final, the ending to the game, just that whole sequence where you just know he dies and you just like watch him fighting for his life and
no,
just
it's because
slowly
you
hands
expect
off
it.
and it was just to me that was just one of the best story arcs in Final Fantasy. Like even though I knew he died because I had played 7 before Crisis Core, so it's like obviously I know, but like in that detail, that the music, I really love the music in Crisis Core. You know, that one made me a little teary eye. This one is going to be a little off the wall, and I got really in the game when I was playing it. But Sleeping Dogs, really great game by the way. I really enjoyed it.
Underrated. Love that game.
I was, I'm not gonna say I like lived the game for a week, but I kind of did. A long time ago, like 10 years ago. So right before the ending of the game, your best friend dies. Jackie Ma. He gets hung or something
Tortured.
like
Yeah, he gets tortured.
to death, and like the character comes up to him right after he dies, and like, dude, that scene to me, I was like, man, like that dude was kind of an a-hole. Like he was not a great guy, but like he was your best friend, and I'm just like, man, that sucks. And right after that scene, you have to like drive across the entire map. So you're in a car and you have to like drive down a highway across the map, and like he's doing like internal monologue the entire time, and he's having like flashbacks or like memories of Jackie Ma because he's been with you through the entire game, and like it was super sad, and I'm like, man, I just wanted to beat up some triad people. I didn't want to.
I'll just beat up gang members now. I'm in my feels. What the fuck?
My poor best friend died.
That's a really effective storytelling, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Making you like at least live with the decision or live with the result.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's really well done. Chibi, give me the sad game.
A sad guy. Have any of you beat Persona 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll know where I'm going with this. So
yeah, no, I can almost immediately think which one it is. There's two. I think
it's like a build up though. So essentially, like the main character dies. Spoiler alert. But he sacrifices himself to save the world. He becomes the seal that traps death. And it was just something that I was not expecting in this game at all. And before that, like all your friends are like cheering you on, like you got this, like thank you, like all your social links. And then it's like that power is the push that you need. Oh God, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. That you literally give your life to become the seal. And it's just so fucking sad.
And there's nothing you do to reverse it.
There's nothing.
It's
nothing.
And if you play Fess, you literally like have to you take on, I can't remember Aegis, right?
Sad.
And you're literally like pretty much going through the steps. Like she's like, I just want to like be as I wanted to be his protector. I failed.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus, man.
Yeah. And they reference it in 4 as well, like about the savior in the sky. Like he's still fighting every day. And I'm like,
it sounds like the ending of Mass Effect 3. It's pretty much shot for shot. It's the same.
Really?
What you're explaining.
That is not true. What are you talking about?
Okay, never mind.
He jumps in a giant laser and then everything dies. So
I was gonna
that's a no.
Chibi, did you ever beat Persona 5 Royal?
Yeah, I beat them all.
So the saddest thing, in my opinion, in Royal was when you finally realize like that they actually introduced a new final boss. Pretty much, he's a what was he? He was a therapist, right?
He was a therapist.
Psychiatrist.
Yeah, a psychiatrist.
So basically,
therapist.
like he's the villain.
Yeah.
But he was like this, broken individual who had like the best intent to do the right thing.
It's like one of those people. Like you fall and you become the villain.
Basically, he was trying to create a world where no one feels pain and everyone just feels well. And like one of the things he was talking about when he's talking to the protagonist, he's like, "What world would you want? Do you want a world where you're going to suffer and feel your worst pains? Like your friends lost, like one of them lost their dad, right? Like another person, lost a family member. He's like, but I gave them that back. I gave them all of this back. And it was because this individual who seems like he's very well to do was essentially this incredibly broken character.
Yeah.
But he had the best intent. And I was like, that is the best villain I've ever seen in any fucking game.
It was really good. And it was one I wasn't expecting.
And it legitimately, that part put me, that actually, like, I didn't play games and then talk to people for like a month. Because I was like,
you say that, and now I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, you're true. That's right. I literally was just quiet. I was sad.
It was the first time I agreed with a villain in a game based off like them being a good person.
Yeah.
Just doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like,
I definitely agree.
Chris was texting me. He's like, "Are you gonna get on?" I was like, "I didn't talk to him for like a month." I was like, "I was depressed."
You're like, I
fuck,
can't.
Man.
You got a point.
I 100% agree with this dude, and it was like super tragic.
Yeah, and it just his whole reasoning for it was insane as well. So I really recommend you playing Royal just for that ending was insane. Yeah. And it's not even canon. That's the sad part.
No,
Royal is not canon.
Yeah. But they literally added like a whole new like a whole chapter that's about like 15 hours.
Yeah,
so
you
like
have
it hits you the entire
characters.
time. You're getting to know the psychiatrist. You get him to know as like this really well-meaning
who helps
guy.
You. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm trying to help you through your trauma and stuff like that. He's helping out everyone. He's really likable. And it turns out like he's the villain, but you're like, what are you trying to do? And it's like, I'm just trying to help people. I'm like, fuck.
It's like good intentions, but executed wrongly.
The dude is right. The dude, like, why would you want to suffer? Right. So I was like, that hit me hard. It's very surprising because, like, most games, it takes a lot. Like, The Last of Us, when Sarah dies in the beginning of that game, that, like, I'm telling you, when they did the remaster or the PS5 only, they added, like, new details. So, like, as she's dying in Joel's arms, right? A tear is like rolling down her face as she passes. And I was like, fuck. Why would you do this to me? And so like I watched the show recently and I was like, oh, this shouldn't be too bad, right? And I was like, still traumatized. Still fucking traumatized. I made my wife watch that and she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah. Welcome to The Last of Us. The show does not pull punches, and neither did the game.
Jesus.
Alrighty. So, does anyone have anything else they want to like talk about? Chibi, do you have any questions you want to ask the group? Anything gaming?
I don't know if you guys have answered this before because my memory's a goldfish, so I'm sorry. But what is something that you guys would like to see, like I guess video game wise, more of? Because I know like some of you were talking about like how you really appreciate.
God.
Okay, that dog has answered Final Fantasy.
I think
disagree with them.
So for me, honestly, it's just fast travel systems that are like useful.
Yeah.
Like, so if you've never played Ghost of Tsushima, when you touch a certain point of interest, like any point of interest, it could be like a fucking sign or whatever, just walking by it. You can then fast travel to that area.
That's pretty dope. I like that.
Right there. And like the thing was like, I think the developers had stated that they had to implement like loading screens because the loading was so fast and shit like that.
Oh shit.
But it is essentially the best, because like, with every game right now, they're like, you have to do something to unlock fast travel, which makes no sense.
It's like, why make it harder?
So in Ghost of Tsushima, they're like, yeah, well, you can just walk up to a place and then immediately go to your map and fast travel. So, because there's backtracking in open world games, you just immediately jump into it. So streamlined fast travel systems, please and thank you. Oh, also, Hogwarts Legacy implements a feature in which the NPC moves at your fucking pace.
Oh my god, yes. You said that and I'm like immediately yes.
If you run, they run too.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
I lost my mind. I was like, what is happening?
I made that fucking gremlin run with me. That goblin. I said gremlin. That goblin run with me, bitch. I said, I don't care how old you are. You're running with me.
That was that's one of the best new features. Like for all the new developers out there, if you don't implement it, I don't want it. I ain't playing your shit. That's me.
What I would do, I would I want, because I stream, I want a little bit more interactive abilities with my viewers.
Ooh,
I think we've
like
talked
real
about this,
integration.
yeah.
Yeah, and you can do
I
that
agree.
across a lot of games, puzzle games,
Yeah.
strong narrative games.
Yeah, so they can like
Cult of the Lamb.
Or
help
yeah,
you
yeah.
pick.
Or like say you're playing like a horror game, and then viewers
Kill
can
you.
maybe in a background form pick where jump scares happen
That'd be
and what they
cool.
throw
You could
at
vote
you.
on that.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you as a
I like
streamer
that.
don't know about it because it's
Yeah, it's in the
behind the
background.
chat, right?
Because a
I
lot
like
of games have
that.
like intensity directors,
Yeah.
right? So pretty much like they know when to like, you know, if something, if you're getting through it just fine, they're like, fuck that, go ratchet up the right. But that'd be kind of cool. Like
I like
it's like
that.
it's like those narrative like horror games, right? Where you can have your people vote on where to go. I think you
Yeah.
should go on like how hard it could be to that
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
Like we'll go left. Let's vote left. How hard do you want it to be? The hardest.
Yeah, but see, I like Jack's idea because it's different than just like, oh, let's pick A or B. It's like, fuck it, you don't even know like what the options are. Like you're just playing it.
Isn't there a new horror game out right now in which like it's like
Life?
No, bro. But you're right. Shut the fuck up, Brad.
Stop.
It's where I think your chat can like have noises and shit, and like it'll influence the game. I think there's
Shit,
something
send
like
that to me. That
That'd be
sounds really
nice, yeah.
interesting.
I
I know,
haven't
right? I was
heard
supposed
of
to say,
it.
I'll play that right now. Yeah.
Because
That'd be
like
funny
this
as
guy was
fuck.
like showing he's like, dude, my fucking viewers were like having noises come out, and it was like
dude,
fucking
yeah.
bringing the monster to my location. I was like,
Oh fuck
Yeah.
that! I would be so
and
mad.
that could easily work by having you give maybe the viewers a link to a web page that's linked to the
Yeah.
game that you're playing, and then they do all that stuff on a web page, so it's not all
So you
done in
can't
your
see it.
chat.
Yeah, that's true.
imagine like a survival horror game like that.
It'd
Like
be
how much ammo do
easy.
you want in the next room? None. He has to
You
beat
get
the
no
weapons
weapons.
with his
I mean,
hands.
right now they do it with 7 Days to Die, but the
Oh really?
the streamer can see all the stuff that people are throwing in there and picking
Good.
in the chat.
Oh okay.
Yeah. They can throw crates at you that has ammo, or they can throw zombies at you.
With
That'd be
no
kind of a cool
ammo.
thing also to do in like a light gun shooter, right? Where you're like going, or a shooting game. I'm out of ammo. Like your Twitch chat can be generous. Like, give him more ammo.
Right.
Give him a banana.
A banana.
Swing that shit at him. Like,
Right.
no.
That was my question, but very good answers.
Well, hold on, Brad didn't answer.
Did you? I thought you said Final Fantasy.
I did.
No, that don't count.
Trying to think if there's like just something that I think every game needs. I do pretty much any quality of life improvement. I will say something in Jack Move that was really cool that I liked was the fact if you talk to someone and they had repeatable dialogue, there was a marker above their head once you talk to them. Right.
Yes.
So you know when to stop talking to them because
I like
you
that.
just repeat the I just thought that was a cool little feature, but really anything with quality of life improvements. The Monster Hunter is the biggest example of this. If you've ever played 1 or 2 Monster Hunters and then compare it to World and Rise, loads different.
Yeah.
Right. There was
so much
no
better, dude.
dude, there was no quality. You were running for 10 minutes to find the monster, then the monster would kill you, and then you would spawn back at
God.
camp, and then you have to run another 10 minutes. Yeah, it was to cook your food, you had to sit down and like do the thing. There's like a little jig. The dude would sit there and like roast his food for 45 seconds, and then
you kind of still have to do that in Monster Hunter World. I am gonna say like Wild Hearts, which just came out. It's like it's an alternative Monster Hunter. They streamlined a lot of the things that people got frustrated about, like traversal around the world and stuff like that. You can actually build a like radar that'll find monsters for you. You can actually build camps practically anywhere on the map as long as you have the resources to fast travel to. You have zip lines. You have an ability called the Karakuri, which can create objects during combat to aid you, like traps, all that type of stuff. And like there's always resources around you that makes it pretty accessible. And like I've told Brad this, it's one of the ugliest fucking new games out there. It really is. But the game is fantastic. Like it really does like take the things that a lot of people have complained about with Monster Hunter and pushes it aside and says, let's make it faster. Let's make it more accessible to people. So like, you know, you could watch Jack play Monster Hunter Rise and Jack being like, what the fuck do I do right here? I really like watching Jack do that. He's like, I'm pressing the button.
Yeah.
You're seeing me press it, guys.
When in doubt, play Hunting Horn.
But that's essentially what Wild Hearts did. Like, it really streamlined a lot of process. Like, there's like, it's called an awakening ability. When you fight a boss, like, you'll get into a section where they get enraged and they're about to attack you, and you'll see an icon appear, and you'll do the icon, and it creates like a new ability that you can use to have an advantage over that monster. And I'm like, fuck, I love that. That's something I didn't think would be introduced or should be introduced in Monster Hunter, because most of the time, you know, people hated Rise, like traditional Monster Hunter players hate Rise because of the wire bug. It's very, you know,
fun. Yeah.
It's not just fun, but it's like, it's an ability that's the get out of jail free card. If you fuck up in Monster Hunter Rise, right, or in other Monster Hunter games, you were pretty much dead. Like, they were gonna juggle you or just kill you. With Rise, it's like you can absolutely jump out of danger. And I was like, you can do, and like, it's kind of the same thing in Wild Hearts. Like, the moment you get hit, you press circle, you immediately do an auto roll out of danger, and then you can jump away and then glide away, which is fucking sick. I was like, this game fucking works. But yeah, quality of life stuff though. This is my last question. Does anyone feel like we've made enough advancements, like in terms of overall the like gameplay design, you know, or you know, because we're all pretty experienced in gaming, right? Have you seen enough changes to justify some games?
Well,
you know?
yeah. So I think games themselves have evolved in that sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's evolved so much that some games are putting back old features, you know, as a difficulty, right? So, pretty much any horror game
the
that has
ability
like,
not to save any,
exactly, like any like something with a save point.
Yeah.
That's probably the most common thing that I see. That it's like, wow, they reintroduce this as a feature
That's a good point.
versus a limitation, or you know, not being able to fast travel everywhere, right? I'm sure most games have the capability to fast travel everywhere, but they may have it want to be a mechanic to where you can't just go everywhere. I don't know why you would do that.
Does removing that type of like quality of life make the game better, or I guess
makes it more challenging.
Right, it would set your game apart, but I don't think it makes
I don't know
it better.
if it made it better.
It's depending on the game, it might be like an atmospheric thing, right? So it's like they want you to experience the atmosphere, and you know, if you're a cowboy, maybe you know they want you to have that horseback ride for some. I don't know. It's definitely like an artistic choice if they were to do that. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Now to completely remove it or not have it at all, I think is a bad choice. But like have it accessibility, right? So have the features there, but you can utilize them or not, right? So once again, Hogwarts Legacy, right? I turned off a lot of the things just because I wanted that kind of natural feel to the game, right? Like I wanted to be the person. I've been playing God of War, the first reboot one, not
2018.
Ragnarok. Yeah, I've been playing that one, and I turned off everything, right? So it's just like it's me and my kid, and we're just murdering things in a magical forest, right? And it to me it just feels more immersive because that game really plays like a movie, anyways, with the single shot.
You know what's interesting is that now that you talk about HUDless stuff, Dead Space Remake, if you play that game, it's HUDless still. So the only way you know your health bar is on your back, right?
Yeah.
And so pretty much through the entire game, and Jack, you'll eventually play it, but like it's HUDless. So there's like a level of immersion because you really do feel like you're in the Ishimura, and it's, you know, it's a good point, Brad. Damn it, I shouldn't have said that. Fuck.
It's now recorded.
Jack, you got anything like in terms of, you know, the way you see games now? Like, you know, do you agree with Brad? Like they've kind of like brought things back to, you know,
it's well, I mean, as of everything in life, right? Things reach a point, and then you're gonna recycle what was before to kind of almost make it feel like new, because there's nothing else that's new that you can put out anymore.
Okay, I agree with that.
Now they bring back memory cards.
Oh, please no.
We're gonna be back to floppy disks.
I know you've been coughing. I've seen you turn a bunch.
I'm having a sneezing fit. I'm sorry.
Bean looks bad.
I didn't know if anyone saw that. I am sneezing at him. No, I would say I'm agree. I am a little bit more inexperienced with you guys, but I agree. I can definitely see like the recycling and just kind of just upgrading things. But it's just one of those things. It's like, how much more new stuff can you add before it's like we're actually just repeating? We're just copy and pasting and tweaking it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think at this point, the only thing that can be new is if you like, you actually feel shit that happens.
We like SAO this bitch.
Oh,
they did
God.
You're playing Hogwarts, you get struck by lightning, and you feel a shock.
Bro, you fucking get abracadabra.
So they stopped your heart. How do you feel? I died. I don't know.
I'm dying.
So they actually did make a game called Pain Station, and it was basically Pong, but you had your hand under a thing, and like if you lost the point, it would go.
I remember that.
No,
it felt like something out of a movie. Like, why would you do, like Idiocracy? Like, why would you do that?
One of the South Park games came with a VR nose set thing. So so
you can smell it.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if it was like a commercially available thing, but I saw that they
I think it was a gag, but I think that'd be fucking hilarious. Like, now you could smell the game.
So like they would fart, and obviously it would just like fart in your face.
They did that, but with like a movie. Have you guys ever watched like the Wild Thornberry movie? It was like a long time ago, like back in the day. It was like you'd get 3D glasses, but also they'd give you like a little card sheet, and you would scratch and sniff. So it'd be like, all right, we're at scene 1, scratch it, and like they're like the fucking child, the one, the Donnie that goes like. He'd like fart or something. You scratch it. It smells like fart. Like, speaking of farting, it would be something like that. It'd be kind of funny.
Oh, that makes sense. I
totally
forgot they had a fucking movie for the Wild Thornberry.
Yeah, bro.
We can test
you
Jack's
find out
age.
where
Jack,
his parents are from.
Jack, what VHS was orange?
Bro, if you don't know this.
God damn it,
I didn't know
Brad.
you were Jack.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's like my first grade class.
Damn it,
I was
Brad,
gonna say, I know it's a Nickelodeon.
I was like, please,
thing.
come on, man.
I used to love that film.
Which movie though? That's the question.
Dude, when they go to Paris, bro.
Reptar's Revenge.
Reptar's Revenge, right? All right. So that's gonna do it for this episode. I want to thank Brad for coming up with surprisingly good questions.
I feel like he does this.
A complete fart. No.
The last times, like we've let Brad handle it. He's actually come up with good, wholesome questions.
Complete
and then he had
cry.
that one question that just threw us off. It was like the fucking Ninja Turtles
complete
one.
far cry when Brad had it before. I was like, the Brad Bonanza episode was a fucking mess.
That was a
mess.
Interesting.
This will be so much easier to make a thumbnail from. Seriously, he'll just literally show Brad, and he can have it in his hand, like fucking certain titles of games, like Hogwarts Legacy, fucking Persona, all that type of stuff. Shit we talk about. Like literally, that's all. Right? Simple thumbnail. We can make Brad the thumbnail. Yes, that's why I wanted Brad
in a bowl of soup.
Yeah, in a bowl of soup. Hey, we'll make a couple noodles, right? Well, we'll get sued, but we'll have like a couple noodles.
We'll put Pixelated Thought noodles.
And we'll just put like the fucking games that we talked about, right? Super simple stuff. But that's going to do it for us today. I want to thank Brad once again. I want to thank the entire crew. It's our 50th episode, 50th recording, rather, of Pixelated Thoughts. If you like the content, like, share, and subscribe, please. We will be doing future giveaways, I think, next month, probably for Resident Evil 4 and other games, other big titles down the line. Brad will more than likely be going back into Cup Dog mode, right? As he is a VTuber per Colby.
Per Colby.
He is now a VTuber.
That is it now.
You can find and follow the fine individuals on this podcast. You can follow Chibi on Chibi Rabbit on Twitch and Twitter. You can find Jacqueline Cruel, Twitch and Twitter. And Brad, whenever he decides to stream, which he has missed the last like 2 months.
Yeah.
You can find him at Willie Jim. And like Jack said, we will more than likely look into the creation of a Instagram. You know.
Instagram and Twitter.
But that's going to do it for us this time. I'm going to thank everyone for listening. We'll talk to you next time.